Right, so after doing the photo, microphone was a mile away. After doing the photo transfer several times, to every single time I did it, there was a weak point in this area. So what I'm doing is basically strengthening up certain areas of the board so that the weak point that was normally there, it's usually at this junction here. So let's see, if I just pour copper, you know, it's been a while since I used this software and I keep forgetting things. It's amazing how, it must be a year or so, it must be about a year since I last used this software. I just forget things. It's just, my memory's just not as good like it used to be. How the hell is Port Copper anyway? I've forgotten where it is now. Is it down here somewhere? I think it is. It must be here somewhere. Oh no. Oh! Hang on a minute. That's it down here. But for some reason it's not showing up, I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I've got to press escape. I think. No, hang on. Let's just do this again. Let's see. So, maybe I didn't like it. Ah, this is it. Right, I didn't do it. Right, so if I pour copper now, press escape, it should. Yeah, there we go. Right, if I pour copper there. Oh yeah, I have to choose a net name. Hang on. So the net name is net 0210. So pour net 0210. Right, that's it. Right, okay, so yeah, except that my it's a little bit too big, so I'll make it smaller. Pour copper again. Right, that's better. Now, I've eliminated the weak point there now by pouring a copper area there, so that will basically make sure that doesn't come out weak every time anymore. Also, I failed to take into consideration the fact that every time I etched the tracks actually got thinner than they were originally. So when I set it to 0.3 millimeters, which is basically a gauge of wire, which is basically 0.3 millimeters, which is what the wire gauge I was working with, is, well, obviously the copper was being etched away sideways slightly, so it was ending up at about 0.2 millimeters, which is why it was so thick. So I've actually solved two two problems really. I've thickened the tracks up to 0.4 millimeters, knowing that they would be etched down to about 0.3 millimeters. So that's going to eliminate weak points as well. What's going on with this mouse now? Right, so now this track is slightly thicker, so if we check the properties of the track, the width is now 0.4 millimeters, which is there, it's 4.4 millimeters wide, but it will be 0.3 by the time it's been etched. So that's great. So we should have less problems with now other weak points that tend to crop in seem to be around the looking at my diagram, looking at my actual board, most of the weak points seem to be around about this area for some reason. Around about here. It might be because of these pads where the ferric chloride is moving more around there. So what I'm thinking of doing, because it won't matter too much, is add a little bit extra track, a little bit more white track on these weaker areas. So if this section here, if I thicken that one up, let's just do change style. If I widen that to 0.5, that bit to 0.5, and also that, if I change that to, it's all about repeatability really. I mean, the main thing is that I need to reduce the chances of errors and breaks in the track. Now, having this section all the same on all of the boards will be fine because they'll all be the same. And because of all the errors that keep cropping up around this area, there seems to be quite a few seem to crop up around that area, it just makes sense really. Most of them were just in this section here. So if I just thicken these areas up a little bit to 0.4, we should eliminate a lot of problems. So if I basically select this area, and that area, and go to style. Oh, damn it, what change? I can't do it all separately, why? Oh, it's going right over there, that's why. Right, okay, so basically I need to do that. I have to do it all separate. Let's just call it 0.5, let's just copy that. Right, so I want to thicken these weak areas up. I don't want all of it changing, otherwise my coil won't be. Remember, it's going to etch thinner anyway. Oh, what have we done now? Oh, I need to undo that. I just want. Can I do that? Yeah, so I should be able to do that and that. I should be able to do that. Let's try this anyway. I'll just unselect that one. Right, so that's Right, so this section that was weak, that kept breaking, should be alright now on the next batch, but it's thinner in this section, which is where I really want the thinner well, you see, what I was thinking about was, because this is so long, because these tracks run all the way around here, they're very long, they can be thicker because they're longer, but these sections in the middle, they're very short, so they need to be thinner. Right, you get the idea that this section basically is a smaller coil, and so it needs to be thinner, but the longer sections can be slightly thicker. I was working out really the amount of turns of wire, and basically there's a reason why I did it longer, was because I wanted a larger, a bigger coil. Well, I kind of overlooked the fact that because it's longer, it's going to have a higher DC resistance anyway. So I've just measured this one. I've actually etched one, and it came out really well. One of them is intact. So I measured it, and you won't believe it, but I actually, between this point here, between this point over here, the start, right. No, not that point, sorry, I'm thinking the wrong area. This point at this end, and this point here, this point which is the start of the coil, all the way around to here, is 2.1 ohms on my meter. Actually, my meters is, let me just check something, I think my meter's got a point something. Yeah, it's 0.4, so minus 0.4. So basically we have about 2. Let me just measure this board. Sorry, I can't show it on the camera at the moment. I haven't got a camera plugged into the computer. Let me just check this one. So that one measures 2 ohms. Right, minus the 0.4 is 2 ohms. So we've actually got a DC resistance between here and here of 2 ohms. That's pretty good, considering it's on a circuit board. That's, yeah, very good. That's what I need, the DC resistance to give me that a drop in, the delay line, basically. It's acting like a resistor, but it's an inductor instead. Right. So, but the one I etched, even though it came out really well, there was a break right about, right about here. There was a break which I need to patch up. Well, hopefully the next one I do should be okay. Well, what I'm going to do is soldering it is going to be a right pain, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my conductive pen to, my conductive pen to fill that break up. Now, why is my pen leaking? I'm sorry, I haven't got the camera plugged in right now. Right, that should sort that short, that open circuit out. It's got it dry though. I think I have a short, open circuit on this end. Oops, my pen is leaking everywhere. I've got more acetone in this pen than I do conductive paint. Hopefully the next one will be a lot better. I've lost my cotton bud now. I think all the paint's in the bottom of the blooming thing. So let me just check this on this actual board. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing, but right between there and there. What have we got? Oh, it's not showing up right now. Needs to dry a bit more. But the continuity of one of these is all the way through. It's really good. So I think I'm going to solve the problem when I etch the next batch, because the tracks are going to be slightly thicker, and we shouldn't have so many breaks, because they are actually, for some reason, well, it's because of the way the etching fluid works, but basically the edges around here, the very edges of the board, the tracks are really, really thin. They're very, very thin. But the tracks in the middle of the board are a lot thicker. That's because of the amount of etching fluid that's rolling around the edges. The edges seem to get more of the etchant simply because they're on the edge. The tracks near the middle are much better, more intact, but the tracks around the edges were just being etched away. So this should solve that problem as well. By having thicker tracks near the edge down here, we should solve the problem. And because these tracks aren't right near the edge, it won't be a big problem either. So that should solve my issues. But I keep getting a repeated break around here for some reason. Every time it's this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that particular line 0.4. So that one's just 0.4, the rest of it's 0.3. No, sorry, the rest of it's all 0.4 actually. Yeah, but I've increased it to 0.4, so it should be okay. Yeah, I think we should be okay there. The corners seem to be weak. They get weak because, let's see, if I just select all these corners, right, the weak points, and I select and make them all 0.5, so I make the corners a bit thicker, like that. That should eliminate those breaks that we get on the corners. So I need to pick that corner. Let's just do the corners. Right, all of the corners are a lot thicker now, so that shouldn't break anymore. It should print a lot better, I mean. But these are already thicker anyway, so I'm not going to bother with the corners over here because they're already thicker on them. Now, if this works out, okay. Oh, actually that one's a bit thicker as well because that's very thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that up to 0.5. This is not a coil area anyway, but I'm going to make it thicker anyway. Yeah, that's better. It's a bit close to that pad, but I'm not worried because the track shrinks back a bit. My mouse jumps sometimes. So that looks good. I'm fairly happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that now, and I'm going to make multiple copies when I print this out. I'll move this along a bit. It should line out right. Right. So, oh, undo. What am I doing? Right. Oh, have I got too many on there to get on a sheet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I've got too many on here now. Oops. I think I just need to get rid of these bottom two. That should fit on an A4 sheet now. I think that is my printer turned on. I was going to print it out on this RV inkjet just to test. I think that should fit on an A4 sheet, I think. I mean, I can use the ones I printed, they're just a bit thinner than what I want, really, but I can test with these, I suppose. It's obviously on one sheet because it didn't print another. Yeah, that's great. So I've got 14 on a sheet, which is pretty cool because I don't want to waste that transfer paper. And it looks like it's going to be a lot more prominent. Anyway, just a little update on the situation with these boards. I've made copies of that, so we shouldn't have any more problems with the transfer process. I'm not worried if the tracks look a bit too close because those were, as I say, when I'm etching these, the gaps get bigger anyway, so that's one of the problems that I had with the tracks being so thin anyway. It was the fact that they get so far apart when you're etching them. Yeah, that's going to be a lot better, I think. So, yeah. I've got to photo transfer, I've got to print that on the photo paper in a bit. But anyway, in the meantime, because that's in the other room, I've got to send it over the Wi-Fi over to the network printer, which is the laser one. Anyway, that's it for now.